possibly park any closer. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to kick your car. Oh, yes, I did. Excellent. So this weekend, I went and saw The Accountant. It was not what I expected. It's about Ben Affleck being autistic and his father bringing him up to be functional in the world, but he's extremely high functioning, very task-oriented. He kind of falls into being an accountant for mobs and terrible people, but kind of has a heart of gold at the same time. And he picked up a few things being ex-military that, and his father teaching him really well. The kid's basically bred to be a soldier for the most part, or to defend himself, because the father was kind of tough. There are a few turns in the story that are basically like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Overall, the plot is a little predictable, which kind of sucks, because at times you're like, oh, what's this? Oh, wait, this is probably going to happen. Oh, it did. But the overall synopsis of the story is Ben Affleck is an accountant for absolutely terrible people, and he's really good with numbers, being autistic and all. He learns how to uncook books and figure out where money is going. So if you're a mob boss and you're hemorrhaging money, you need somebody to go through your taxes, uncook all your books, which cooking your books is basically like making them look legal, or making it look like you don't make as much money or anything like that, or figuring out where you have done illegal things. So the mob, or a mob boss, will hire him to figure out where he's hemorrhaging money and then go take care of it, kind of thing. Or he'll take care of it himself. Sorry, the mob will take care of it himself. So Ben Affleck gets hired to do this for a robotics prosthetic company. So these people that have like robotic prosthetics, so if you lose your arm or anything like that, you get a functioning robotic prosthetic. And so you'll be able to like pick things up and all that kind of stuff. It's a research and development company for it, which right now is really high in demand considering we have that. So he does that, and the company winds up being dirty. So they kind of hire somebody to take him out, and the accountant the accountant that found out about this originally, the reason he's hired, because some girl pretty much fresh out of school is like, hey, I found this irregularity in the books. What's going on? So they hire Ben Affleck, who's been dumping lives and changing over IDs and all that kind of stuff like crazy throughout his life, just to try and protect himself. Come on. And they hire him to figure it out. Well, they also hire somebody to kill him because he does figure it out. They expected him not to figure it out, and him to just kind of go away. So I thought the acting was really well done. Ben Affleck did really well. They set it up really well for him teaching himself or keeping himself up to par with being a high-functioning autistic person. They also did really well with how he does things, like whenever he eats, make sure his food's separated from itself. He also blows on both hands whenever he does anything dexterous. So if he's going to use his hands for a while, like let's say i.e. write, pick up papers, search through papers, read a book, anything, he blows on both his hands' fingertips. Just a quick blow kind of thing on each hand. He always does that. Everything has to be in its place. It's all your classic signs of autism or Asperger's. you see how he, like, still freaks out and breaks down, but it's not really that insanely bad. It's like when he's a kid, he tries to finish a puzzle and there's one piece that's missing and he just flips out, like cannot cope. So this other autistic child, or I think she might have Tourette's or something like that, she's crippled by her not being a high-functioning person. And she hands him the puzzle piece and, like, they become friends and all that kind of stuff. Or she's crippled by her handicap. There we go. So she fidgets and all that kind of stuff, can't really talk. And she hands him the puzzle piece, and he's basically like, thanks, and everything's all right. And then you see it as he's older when somebody's like, oh, well, you don't have... Or John Lithgow is the owner of the evil company. And John Lithgow basically says, like, hey, you don't have to finish, kind of thing. And Ben Affleck's like, well, I didn't finish, kind of thing. Like, I'm not finished yet. So John Lithgow's like, yeah, don't worry, we paid out your contract, it's fine, kind of thing. And John Lithgow's like, Ben Affleck can't handle, like, he's not handling it so well, but he's coping with it, which is the part where he's pretty much amazing at what he is, because of the fact that typically autistics or people with Asperger's have an incredibly tough time coping. So I thought that was good. The cinematography was actually pretty good, but nothing to write home to mom about. There's nothing that I would say is really, really well done. It tells its story well, but there's nothing that comes out and grabs you that says this is an awesome shot ever. This was more bent or driven by acting than depiction itself. Don't get me wrong, the director did a good job. So I would say, like, I give this movie a solid 8. It was a little better than I thought it would be, but it is a little predictable. And the predictability was the only part that's kind of like meh about it. The rest of it was actually pretty good. Ben Affleck runs around with a Barrett 50 cal, which, if anybody knows what that is, it's a anti-material rifle. You're not actually made to shoot people with it, which was kind of inconsistent in the movie. If you were to shoot somebody standing next to somebody, usually that other person dies. That bullet moves so much air. The bullet can miss you and still rip your arm off, because it's moving at such a high velocity and it's moving so much air. It's kind of like getting hit by a freight train, but the freight train's made of air. Yay! God, I like that. They're like, oh no, never mind, it's that asshole. God, it is a beautiful sunrise this morning. I'm sad I didn't get to time-lapse that. And the way Ben Affleck is very detached from normal people. Even, like, not so much friends, but like family and all that kind of stuff. People that are close to him are very like, you know, like, hi, how you doing? It would be nice if you said something back to me, like, oh, I missed you, or something like that. Like, you know, normal people do say, like, he doesn't show emotion at all because he's very, very sensitive to how he moves, kind of thing. So it's incredibly hard for him. You know? God, that is nice. I don't know if you can actually see that. God, I am tired. So yeah, I liked the movie. It was good. I thought it, and the reason I give it a solid 8 is because of the fact that, A, good directing, great acting. Like, everybody fit into the roles very well. There was no forced anything. The only thing that was really kind of inconsistent throughout the movie was the rifle that Ben Affleck shot. He actually shoots an engine block with it, which is what they're made for. That's why they're an anti-material rifle. It's kind of overkill when you're trying to kill somebody and, you know, you have a 50 caliber bullet. You just need something that's like an M4 round or something around that velocity, because you just want to kill somebody. You don't want to like murder everybody in the room on accident. Those are made for like punching out engine blocks and all that kind of stuff, or breaking through doors, or helping people out from afar kind of deal. Or, you know, firing through material. That's why it's an anti-material rifle. Jesus. That guy should not be driving. So, other than that, I have no complaints whatsoever about the movie. The comedy factor was actually pretty good. There's a part where Ben Affleck kills somebody, and a couple people are watching, and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this just happened." And Ben Affleck is like, howdy, kind of like what you do when you're going to go mow your lawn with your neighbors watching you, kind of thing. Like, how you been? Kind of. Normally I like this out, but today I'm gonna lean in. I like leaning in much more. I grew up on a sport bike, so it's very hard for me to like learn how to leg out kind of thing. And we'll see you all tomorrow.